I get asked every day, what do you think is happening in this real estate market? Well, a lot. That is just something everybody's intrigued with because, the market has been on fire for at least 2 full years, if not more, because we've been in a really strong seller's market. So I want to kind of go over some numbers with you so you can kind of see why we're still in a seller's market. As you can see, in the month of August for 2022, our home sales have dropped from a year ago. No questions asked. Last year in 2021, the market was just like I said earlier, it was on fire, and it was all the way through Memorial Day weekend. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of cooling here. We've been sitting at about 1,000 homes per month that are selling. But if you come down here and you'll see, we still only have 1.2 months of inventory. So we really don't have a lot of inventory still out there. So homes are still getting multiple offers. They're just not getting multiple offers like they were in the spring when people were getting 15 and 20 offers. But look at this from last August. Our whole average home price was 428,000. Look where we're at today, 498,000, almost 16% in a year. That's incredible. Granted, we're not like the way out in the West Coast where they were just literally getting hundreds of thousands of over their ask price, but the market was still very, very strong. But the key to look at this is, remember, we're sitting at 1.2 months of inventory. So as that continues to change a little bit, that will kind of be something we need to think about and talk about in the future. We all know at the end of August, the federal Chairman Powell said, hey, we're going to raise interest rates until we get inflation under control. So we saw that they raised interest rates already, and now they're looking like they're going to be raising them again. And the market has literally been in anticipation of that. Because many times what happens is we find that if they're going to be speaking on a Wednesday, that market that Friday before is going to change in anticipation of what they think is going to happen. So you'll see that Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, things may really change a lot once the actual conversation's been stated by the feds of here's what we're going to do. We see things settle back into a little bit more normal rate. And that's exactly what we've kind of seen so far over the last week. So when you're looking at some of this, people have asked me, Godson, are we going to depreciate? Are we going into stagflation? What's going to happen to us? Well, our crystal ball is never 100% clear, but our appreciation is going to start slowing. It's more of deacceleration versus depreciation. And the reason the difference is depreciation means obviously homes are dropping crazy, right? De-acceleration means instead of seeing homes sell 20, 50, $100,000 over their list price, being that list price was the floor, it's now changed and said that list price is fairly close to where it's going to sell at, most likely, maybe a little above, depending on location, depending on price range, depending on amenities and those other things. So yes, that appreciation is definitely slowing. It's more of a deceleration of those prices of going crazy and through the roof. And that's really not a horrible thing because that was almost unsustainable to be able to continue sitting at a 16 and 18 and 20% appreciation, because that really makes a huge difference. So to think about this is our inventory is still historically low because we're just sitting over 1.2 months of inventory of supply. So we know that when we have that low of inventory, people are still out there buying. There's no question about it. So we just have to kind of be careful and watch what's going on. So as we were listening to some of the experts out there, CoreLogic has basically it said, our home prices have grown for so long that now for the third month in a row, we've kind of seen them kind of just start to kind of cool some. And that's not really a horrible thing because, interest rates back in January were 2 and 7/8, and Memorial Day they changed, and then they got to in the low sixes and upper fives in the summer, and now we're into the mid six. So that really kind of has slowed things down a little bit to make us to be maybe closer to a more balanced market. And that's really not a bad thing. So they're forecasting that we're going to probably still see on an average, if you look at all these forecasters, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and NAR, and all the others, CoreLogic, they're all saying we're going to have anywhere from 10 to 16%. And I think we're probably going to probably be closer to that 10% when you annualize it out. Maybe a little bit higher, because last year we saw it 16% from August to August. So, but they're kind of saying we're going to see that cool some, and most of that came in the early part of the year, which is understandable because rates really changed when it came to Memorial Day. So at the end of the summer, the housing experts are telling us rates should stabilize, and then the return of a lot of buyers will actually come back into the market. I don't know if there will be a lot of markets, but I do definitely think hopefully interest rates will stabilize for the rest of the year, at least, get where people are affordable for them to still be able to buy. Because you think about this, if you go back to some of the history on our interest rates long term, this is still incredibly low compared to, I went back, and I think I actually showed in one of my other videos, was I went back and found out what our long-term rates are. And if you ever want to see this, let me know. It's really kind of a cool thing. I think they show here, we always get the peaks and all that and those drops, but our average over the time frame sits at about right at 6%. So we're right at that average. That's actually pretty darn incredible. So we're in a place, I would say, right now in the market is time to strategize. Think about, are you going to put your house on the market? What do we need to do to get it on the market? And when is there a good time to do that? And then if you're looking to buy, let's strategize on what are the best ways of doing it. If you're looking for a house that needs a little bit of work, there are renovation loan programs out there. If we need to look at something like that, if that's something that's really that important, or if we're wanting a house that's move-in condition, we kind of have to talk about location and price range and how to make that work. So I think the biggest thing is strategizing right now is, what do you want? How do we make that happen for you? And as you look at, this is a kind of an interesting market showing when you have less than 6 months of inventory, you're in a seller's market. I think maybe that might starting to change a little bit. And maybe that comes down to 4 months to 5 months is more of a seller's market. And anything over from 4 to 7 months, it becomes more of a neutral, balanced market. And then after that, it does go. And that's only because I think of interest rates. I don't think it has anything to do with supply right now, because our supply we still don't have it. Our builders can't build them fast enough. There are a few builders that have had their home sitting on the market, but part of that is they can't get them finished anyway because they're still waiting for supply chain shortages on some of them. So that's why I say is talk to us and let us help you put a strategy together of what really works for you. And some of the things is, what are some of the reasons people move? And, there's so many things. It's called life changes. Life changes happen. And so maybe we've had a baby come into our household. Maybe we've had a death of a family member. Maybe now we've had this for 2 years of working out of our home, and our home office is not perfect, and we really want to have a really great place for that in our home. And maybe the house just no longer meets our needs because our lives are changed. So, we want to think about some of those things. So as you are, call us. We'll be happy to help strategize with you. Think about the things that are happening and what works best for you. And so we can then help you make that dream come true, if it's selling or if it's buying, whatever it may be. So if you have questions, reach out to us. You can call us, you can text us, you can email. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, of course, LinkedIn, and we're happy to kind of give you an update of what's going on at any times. And strategizing is a great thing to do. All righty. Until next month. Um, Happy summer, fall, actually fall. The weather's starting to change finally. It's going to be kind of cool. So getting off of those 90 and 100-degree days will be great. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon with the next market update.